And welcome into a draft week edition of Believe in Panthers here on the Believe Podcast Networks, powered by FanDuel, our friends over at FanDuel, and ZipRecruiter. Desmond Johnson in the house. Jonathan Stewart, all-time Panthers leading rusher, running a little behind in traffic. He'll be here shortly. He will be here in about 5 to 10 minutes. So just sit tight. If you're looking for his pretty face, he'll be here in a little bit. Joining us is former NFL football player Brian Jones. And Brian, NFL analyst, help me figure this out, because I've been sitting on the past couple of weeks thinking that this draft kind of lacked the juice of previous drafts. It's really, maybe it's because the Panthers are picking at 19, where we're used to picking at like the top 10. So it's a little harder to kind of figure out what's going to be left. So it's like, I don't know what to do. But for starters, welcome to the show, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent, man. And just to correct you, main focus is college football, but I know a lot of these cats because I've seen them come up through the ranks and either transfer or stay put, and now they have an opportunity, as I did, to live that dream. So
I think subconsciously, with it being draft week, I was like, today you're an NFL analyst. All these guys are going to be pros now. So
let CBS know, because that's going to up my paycheck,
that's
baby.
Help you out.
They need to know that. But, anytime there's a draft where you don't have a ton of quarterbacks being mentioned, we always say, it's not as sexy a draft. I think there's a lot of value, man. I mean, you look at the wide receiver position, there's some guys there that can really, really play. And I think you can find some value later in the draft. Running back, it's more than just Jeremiah Love. You got some other guys, linebackers, and it's more than just Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles. Some other guys that stand out, maybe in the secondary you don't have as many top tier corners, but there's some safeties that I think are going to play some pretty good ball. Probably a couple of those guys will go first round. So I think if you dig a little deeper, there's some value even on the D line as well.
So a lot of those are the hot spots for the Panthers, and we'll dive into that here as well. While we wait for Stu to park the Maybach or whatever he's driving and get into the studio, we will wait for him to get in. Right before that, though, we usually start off with Panther news, and the Panther news for this week, not a lot going on besides the draft itself, and of course the Panthers draft at number 19 on Thursday. Familiar face coming back and a hometown connection announced today, according to a report from the team. The team has agreed to terms with quarterback Will Grier, who played at Davidson Day and actually played for the Panthers ahead of this NFL draft. Selected in the third round of the 2019 NFL draft. He's been around the league. Brian's been with the Cowboys, Bengals, Patriots, Chargers, and Eagles. He's 31 years old. I feel like he's still 23. I feel like I was watching him in high school. But Panthers bringing him back in. So now they have a quarterback room that's decidedly younger. Bryce Young is your main guy. They signed Kenny Pickett to be a backup there. And now you've added Will Grier. Thoughts on the Panthers quarterback room? Do you feel like that's gonna be the room when we go into the season, or you
never know what's gonna transpire? But the one thing the Panthers have to be ecstatic about is Bryce Young finally figured this thing out, and I thought he played, and I'm sure you would attest, played much better. He looked like the Bryce Young I watched all those years at Alabama. The guy was confident. He had conviction in what he was doing out on the field. So that's the key. You want, keep him healthy and probably amass some more weapons for him to get the rock to. And as far as the backups, man, I should have played quarterback. You can be a backup forever in this league. I mean, that's probably the best job going. Look at Brissett, with the Cardinals, as long as he's played and pick one. I mean, usually
every team in the league feels like,
yeah, everyone's got one that's pretty long in the tooth and doesn't mind holding that clipboard or tablet or whatever they're holding these days.
We just got rid of Andy Dalton. He's 37 or whatever. We just basically traded him for a new model. Yeah. So
and who knows where Andy's probably on someone else's team right now.
He's we traded him to the Eagles for 7.
There you go. Yeah. So and you got that veteran in there that can help young quarterbacks and not that their guy Hurts, Jalen Hurts, he probably doesn't need much help, even though everybody keeps picking on him. I have no idea why. But you got guys, Grier was there. He knows the organization, so he essentially coming back home, and that's you got to have those backups. I get it, But as long as that number one guy is playing well, and I think Bryce Young will continue to stack good performances on top of good performances, considering how he played last season.
College football analyst Brian Jones joining us here on Believe in Panthers. Let's just get into it because I know we got a short amount of time here with you today, Brian. It feels like, first of all, it's hard to gauge what Dan Morgan's doing because last year we all thought on the Panthers side he was going to go defense. He's defensive linebacker, one of the greatest in Panthers history. They were devoid of talent at linebacker. Felt like they were going to probably go linebacker or some sort of pass rusher, and he threw the biggest smoke screen of all time. And they ended up drafting Tedero McMillan. And who knew that Dan Morgan knew more football than the rest of us because he ended up being the offensive rookie of the year. So he got asked last week in pre-draft interview, would they shy away from going after third wide receiver, which would be the third wide receiver taken in the first round the past 3 years? And he didn't say no. He kind of leaned into a little bit. He was like, there's no rule that says we can't. We're going after best player. I keep seeing Casey Concepcion, the wide receiver from Texas A&M, and people around here might remember him from being at NC State. He started his career there. I remember him because I covered him at Julius Chambers High School through my company, Tobacco Road Sports Radio, where he was a top wide receiver for them. I mean, this was longer than that, 2018, I think it was. So give me your thoughts on KC and if he would be a good fit for the Panthers, knowing that although their wide receiver room is starting to fill up a little bit, they're still kind of missing the guy that can take the top off the back of a defense. Does he fill that role? And what will we be getting if they decide to pick KC at 19?
Well, I think this. They're going to be getting a confident wide receiver.
He's very confident is a great word.
Yeah, he uses with that. I'm still trying to confirm, is it true whether or not he sent letters to all 32 teams saying he's the best wide receiver in the draft? I watched him at NC State, and I thought he was tremendous. And then he goes to Texas A&M. When I saw they had transferred there, I was like, oof. This is going to be tough on my Longhorns with him going there. And he showed up and showed out. And yeah, he has some issues with drops, but this guy knows how to separate, and he gives quarterbacks a window. You can plug him in on the special teams as well. And as you know, the more you can do, the longer they allow you to stick around. But I like his moxie out there. His athleticism is pretty good. If there's one night where he goes about 5'10", 5'11", but he plays big, and he has a huge heart, and he's a guy that doesn't shy away from contact. He's physical. He talks the talk. He walks the walk. So you look at that wide receiver room, as you said, it's getting pretty thick in there. What about a tight end? Maybe Kenyon Sadiq is sitting there. That was 19.
That was actually my next question to you.
Did I steal your question? Well, let's go on and transition because that's baby Jurassic. We had him. Have you seen him in person?
No, not in person.
Wait till you see him in person.
I've heard he's a freak, like an athletic.
His sweat has muscles. We saw him. We saw him. First time I laid eyes on him in person was 2 years ago at the Big Ten championship game, Oregon versus Penn State. And this guy walks out, and at that time he hadn't gotten much run. And we're sitting there on our set, and I'm looking at this cat. Now, I used to have muscles. I played a little linebacker in my day. I look nothing like Hercules here, man. But he's got all those muscles, but he's a fluid athlete. You look at his numbers and you turn on the tape and you watch him work, and he moves smooth like a wide receiver. You can split him out. Of course, he can be an inline guy. And what I really love about him is he takes pride in his blocking. And this guy will get you and drive you. I mean, he is sticky. When he gets his hands on you, you forget about it. He's not letting go. So I like the fact that he is a complete tight end, not afraid to block, not afraid to get down there in the trash. But then again, he is a stellar wide receiver / or tight end / wide receiver. You can use him myriad ways in your offense. So you're going to get a guy that's built like a brick, house, and you're going to get a guy that's a fluid athlete and a guy that takes pride in his craft.
So, I know Stu's been high on him because, of course, they're both Oregon Ducks. So he's been talking about him off and on throughout the season. My question was that, do you think he'll still be there at 19, or is he kind of
That's a good question.
To go up for?
Yeah, I think he might have to go up for him. I think he's an elite. Excuse me?
Do you think he's worth going up for, like from 19 to if he starts to fall? He said 15.
Elite athlete. I think he's an elite athlete, and he would be an offensive coordinator's dream because you can play him. Like I said, you can put him in the slot. They had him out wide at Oregon. They moved him around so much, man. And he's going to block for you. He's not afraid to get down in the trenches and block. That's what I want. I want a complete guy who's going to be a 3-down player. He's not only going to be a weapon in my passing game, but we can count on him in the running game.
See, that's what intrigues me because I know Carolina wants to run the ball, and blocking tight ends are crucial in their thing. The only problem is they've got like 3 tight ends already. They just spent a mid-round pick on a tight end from Notre Dame last year. I think they just extended Tommy Tremble the year before too. They've got guys at tight end, but I don't think they're above not picking a position because they have somebody at that position. Like, I don't think they're going to do the whole Portland's not going to draft Michael Jordan because they got Clyde Drexler. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't think they're doing that. So that's Michael. Let me go back to wide receiver real quick before we move off of offense. Say they do pick Casey Concepcion. What do you think that means for Xavier Legette? Because it feels like because when I'm looking at that room, like obviously McMillan's is he's your X, he's your main guy.
Yep.
Jalen Coker emerged last year to basically be the 2. XL kind of became the 3 in the offense, and his targets kind of diminished because of it. If you draft another first round like a KC to come into that room as well, where does that put Legette? Because I feel like that makes him trade fodder at that point, and I could actually see them bundling him with something to move up to go get someone like a Sadiq or something to that effect. What do you think is the future for him? And from what you remember in college to what you see in him now, do you feel like he's still got room to grow, or do you think he's hit a ceiling?
Well, and he's been injury prone. Am I correct?
Not. I wouldn't call it injury prone. He's had a couple of injuries, a couple of games here and there, but nothing where we've been serious, like worried about it yet. Like, it hasn't got to that problem.
Well, I thought he was a heck of a collegiate athlete at South Carolina. I mean, you got a big body, man, and now you got McMillan to pair with that big body. So you got 2 guys who should be exceptional down in the red zone. Just throw it up and let them go get it. And if they don't see him as being a part of the future, package him with someone else and move on from him. We're hearing that about AJ Brown with the Eagles, and once June hits, they're gonna ship him off to the Patriots apparently. So maybe there are other teams thinking in that manner. And I'm also hearing there's going to be a lot of willing and dealing prior to this draft. So today and tomorrow, before we even get to the draft, and maybe definitely during the draft, there's some willing and dealing. So it just depends, what these guys covet. And right now, Xavier Legette, he's the guy. I still like him. I still think he can bring some value.
CBS College Sports Studio analyst Brian Jones joining us here on the Believe in Panthers podcast as we try to figure out what in the world the Panthers are going to do at number 19, because they've really, with free agency coming before the draft now, it makes sense to do. I don't know why they weren't doing this the whole time before, because now teams can kind of figure out their holes and fill them with veterans, and then now when you go into the draft, you're not drafting reaching. You're not hoping this guy's going to turn into a fit to fill that hole. You hope you filled it in with somebody who already has a track record. So now the Panthers can really kind of sit here and go for best player available. So I'm just kind of looking at what they have in terms of what they need. And we've hit the stuff on offense because it does feel like they're going to try to give Bryce Young as many weapons as possible. Dan did say they are going to give him his 5th-year extension. They're just waiting for him to get back in the building, and they'll take care of that. Stu, who must be stuck in uptown traffic because I don't know if he's going to make it in here before we get out of here. He did want to ask about defensive tackle at 19. Okay. Who are some defensive tackle prospects that might fit? Because A'Shawn Robinson's gone. Wharton didn't really work out for us there. And Derek Brown's the only thing you really have at defensive tackle. You kind of want to pair somebody with him. Who would be a good fit beside Derek Brown on that defensive line for Carolina that you can do at 19?
I am liking the kid McDonald, the Kaden McDonald out of Ohio State. Big body, nose tackle. He is very disruptive. There you got Brown in there, Bobby Brown.
We still have Brown.
And you got Derek Brown too, right? Don't you have 2 Browns there on that?
Yeah, Derek is, well, you know who Derek Brown is, like 2 people. So like,
yeah, exactly.
Derek Brown, we watched him throw people out the club all year. Well, really.
So, you think they're seeking another interior D lineman or someone on the edge?
Well, they kind of handled the edge in last year's draft when they got Nick Scorden and Princely, Umama Yellen. So they kind of got that there, and they're looking to see what that is. Plus, I think they brought in Jalen Phillips in free agency.
Yeah, that's right. They brought in Phillips, so they're good.
They got the top pass rusher.
And they brought in Devin Lloyd too, right?
Right. Yeah. So they picked up the best linebacker in free agency, the best pass rusher in free agency. The left tackle that came from, was it Green Bay? Lewis. They grabbed him on a 1-year left tackle. And it was somebody else they grabbed too. But Dan did due diligence in free agency. So now you really can go best player available. I don't even know if they
like
go
McDonald. I like McDonald. And I know this kid Banks from Florida. He's climbing up the ranks. But this Kaden McDonald, you turn on the tape, man. This guy, he wore out my Longhorns in that first ball game. I hate to say it, but the truth is the truth. He was ragdolling guys. I was like, dang, they made this cat look like an All-American, and he is. I mean, he's part of a historic defense there at Ohio State. So if you can get that guy, he's one of those old school nose tackles, man. He could just eat up centers and guards and allow your backers to flow. So that would be my pick. I'd go to this McDonald kid out of Ohio State.
Okay, so the draft starts Thursday. First round is Thursday night. Panthers pick 19. That means they'll probably pick somewhere around, I don't know, 8:30, 9 o'clock, I would think. Don't hold me to that. I'm just kind of guesstimating how fast they run through this. But CBS college football analyst Brian Jones joining us here on Believe in Panthers. And before I get you out, one quick word as we go around the league. Which team, Brian, would you say cannot screw up the first round? I picked 4. I picked the 4 who have multiple picks in the first round. They all have different situations going on. You got the New York Giants, who are picking twice in the top 10, pick 5 and pick 10. After they traded off Dexter Lawrence earlier this week to Cincinnati.
Right.
The Dallas Cowboys are picking 12th and 20th. The Cleveland Browns, who are picking 6th and 24th, and the Kansas City Chiefs, who are picking 9th and 29th. Out of those 4 teams, who would you say cannot afford to screw up the first round?
Well, I think most folks would say the Cleveland Browns, but I'm going to be a homer because I'm a lifelong Cowboys fan. Even when I was in the league, I'd run home to see how my Cowboys did. So they can't screw this up. They've got some holes to fill on the defensive side of the ball. I know they're looking at possibly a linebacker, another edge guy. I would hope they'd go and get a Reuben Bain. I love how violently he plays the game. And all this nonsense about being too short. Just look throughout the history of the NFL, and I'm reminded of the Indianapolis Colts and Dwight Freeney. He was under 6'3". The guy who has the most career sacks for the Colts, you would think it'd be Freeney, but it's Robert Mathis, under 6'3". So I like this Bain kid. They have to get that right. They've got to be able to stop people. I think they have more than enough offense right now. Dak was just through the roof tremendous last year. That's the best he's played. And of course, he was healthy, 100% healthy, and he looked the part. Defensively, they have to get some stops. So I'm thinking, maybe an edge guy and a linebacker. And we'll see who's there, with that second pick. But, Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese, those guys will probably be gone. I know they covered a Jacob Rodriguez, who's right here in the state of Texas at Texas Tech. And, you've got Anthony Hill Jr. Right here in Austin from the University of Texas. I like this cat, Josiah Trotter, linebacker at Missouri. You turn on his tape and you just like, this dude's a escape artist. I mean, blockers coming at him. You don't think there's any way he can get out of harm's way, and yet he finds a way. And it's not by going underneath and making the hole much larger than it was. No, he's technique sound. He's cat quick. And when he shows up and he's in a bad disposition. So I'm hoping they find a D lineman and a rush guy, and they can go get a linebacker as well.
So that get us pretty much set up for Thursday. Again, Stu got caught in traffic. He's going to miss us today, but I'm trying to get him.
Hey, Stu! I wanted to get on his Ducks, man. I went to Oregon. We went to Oregon for the first time this year. We took our show on the road for the Indiana-Oregon game. And what a game it was, man. So I wanted to give Stu – come on, Jay Stu.
Yeah, he's
on purpose, man.
I think he's still frustrated about that game. He was like, man, they manhandle us. Like, he's pretty yeah. So I think I'm going to try to –
exactly what they did, and we
didn't expect that.
Like,
that's crazy.
They did it pretty much to everyone, and Oregon hadn't given up a lot of sacks. Here comes Indiana, and they just got after everybody on that team, man.
On one hand, I love the story because it was a bunch of 3- and 4-star kids that basically they grouped together, and they
ain't no 4 stars. They may have one. Below. It was about some 2s and 3s.
Yeah. Which tells me the whole addict is just still good. Like, it doesn't matter if you got 5 great players. If you got 30 good players, you're going to beat those other teams more often than not. And the other part I don't like is that Mark Cuban kind of bought this team. So like with donations,
everyone's buying.
I know. No. I'm old school, so I'm trying to get used to it. But it's like, I understand.
Get out of here. You better get out of here with that old school, man. This is the
I'm old school. I'm used to.
Don't be begrudging these cats getting paid.
All of the players struggling. Like, I want the players to be hungry when they get on the field. That's what they ain't hungry. They've been eating good.
We had NIL back then under the table, man.
Yeah, I was going to say. It was the best quote. Ed Orgeron, the former LSU coach, he said it best. He was like, "Yeah, back in the day, we used to have to come in through the back door to give you the money. Yep. Now we come in through the front."
Briefcase full, right? Exactly, man. And give Coach Cignetti credit because he brought a lot of guys from JMU, and they knew the culture, and they were able to instill that culture immediately there at Indiana, and then identifying talent to surround those guys with that nucleus. That was the key.
I was about to end it, but then he popped in at the last minute, so you'll get a chance to get those darts.
Because he heard us talking about his alma mater. That's why.
He came in super late too, because we were literally about to sign off, and then I saw him in the green room snooping around. I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, there goes Stu right there." So, Stu,
what's up, man?
You got like 4 minutes to ask Brian whatever you want.
I'm sorry, I'm buzzing in at the last minute here.
You got about 4 minutes.
You got 1 minute. I got one. You got 4 minutes. I got to jump on another interview.
You got it.
The stage is yours. We already talked about KC. If you want to ask a little more about Sadiq, we talked a little bit about that too. But
maybe Jurassic.
Yeah, he likes Sadiq. Don't know if he's going to be there at 19, but he likes him.
Yeah, I think so. This is what I mean. I'm not really sure what's been said, ladies and gentlemen. If you're tuning in, I just jumped on, but as a GM, you have to be a GM for other teams, right? To understand kind of what is going to fall in your lap. If Kenyon Sadiq's not there, obviously I love him. I think he's would be a great catch for anybody. But Dylan Thieneman, Dylan Thieneman is my second guy at 19. But if Dylan's not there, I mean, you don't have to go. There's not I have to get this guy or I have to get this position, which is a good feeling that we haven't had this type of feeling as Carolina Panther fans in a while.
Probably
we've handled business in the free agency, which is the reason why you go through free agency the way we did. Yeah. I think defensive tackle.
Yep, we discussed.
His defensive tackle is a must. With the departure of Ashawn Robinson, I feel like that is part of their game plan going into the draft. And then obviously going back to Dylan Thieneman. If Dylan's not there, I like the kid at Toledo. He covers a lot of ground.
Thumper.
He's a thumper. He's a willing and able tackler, Brian. You know what I'm saying?
Like, and they don't play cupcakes. They'll go and play the P4 teams. I remember a couple years ago, they went to Tennessee. They'll go into your backyard, P4 teams, and they will do work.
Yes, exactly. But from there on, man, I honestly think, day 2, second and third round, I love my guy Rodriguez, man. Jacob Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah, from Texas Tech.
That's a guy that's going to come in there with Devin Lloyd, and he's going to learn so quick. He seems like a guy that has the brains to figure things out on the fly. But to have Devin Lloyd there is going to be a huge help to that success because he's going to be able to.
Two of my favorites. Yeah. I loved Lloyd when he was at Utah. I mean, this guy made play after play. Of course, reason why he was the number 1 pick. Rodriguez, He's not going to blow you away with the measurements. He's not going to blow you away with 40 and all that, but he's a football player. That's all that matters. You turn on the film, he's always in the mix. Reason why he had 7, 8, 9 forced fumbles. They utilized him on offense at times. This guy, when you turn it on, you're like, okay, he can play. I don't care what his 40 time was. I don't care what his vertical is. Can he ball?
Yep. Did you guys talk about Casey at all?
Yeah, we started off with Casey.
Okay, I got you.
He said it would be a pretty good fit. If he's, I mean, we get attached to him a lot in the media. I know he's a hometown guy. Played at Chambers in Charlotte. Played at NC State and A&M. I'm kind of leaning towards, I'm okay with it because at 19, why not? Like, why not go after somebody's going to touch the ball and help Bryce Young at 19? Really, to me, and this is why we haven't done so many draft stuff. We haven't done a lot of mock drafts or anything. I just trust Dan Morgan right now. Like, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to sit here and go through how many times I think he might do this or do that. We believe in Dan Morgan. Like, we believe that he's going to make this right. He hasn't done anything wrong yet, in terms of us head scratching. Like, what is that for? But
the mindset, Brian, that you want to have, man, going into the draft, you want to be able to look at your roster now and say, can I go in to the season right now and win some football games? More games than I won last year. Yeah. The answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that is an awesome place for this team to be. You just bring in some young guys that are going to be here for a long time, that are going to be homegrown. They're going to learn, the Panther way, and they're going to come in the early rounds, and they're going to be guys that are of influence on this team. And then you find that depth in mid rounds.
Real quick, I know Brian has
that's the glue that keeps it all together. You got the superstars, you got your foundation, your culture is set. Now let's bring in these other pieces that can get us over that hump.
Real quick before we get you out of here, Brian, I know you got a hard out. We were told that you're actually involved with a brand new drug that combats CTE. That you would.
We're hoping, and that's the promise. We're hoping we get to that. It's in clinical trial now. Baricitinib is the drug, and give kudos to Dr. Christina Gavignano. She developed this drug some years ago, and now it's in some clinical trials trying to see if it can be an elixir that can help mitigate inflammation, which is the driver in a lot of the afflictions we have to deal with: CTE, dementia, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. So she has had some positive some studies, and they're continuing to put this drug through studies, and hopefully here soon down the road, we're going to be able to treat CTE now instead of waiting, guys have succumbed to this terrible disease. So hopefully some hope is on the horizon.
This is called,
I love that. I need to get connected with you on that. We're going to get off here.
Baricitinib.
Come on.
Baricitinib.
Baricitinib
is BARICITINIB. So definitely keep an eye out for that. I know we got to get you out of here, and we ran you a little bit over. Brian, I appreciate you coming through. CBS College Football Analyst, and hopefully one of the guys that we talked about will actually be a Panther by the time we get back to Friday. Stu, I was going to see, you want to do some sort of first round recap Friday?
Yeah, we need to run this back because I missed my guy Brian, man. I was at the stadium, man. So I was over there doing some stuff for them.
So the 10 minutes turned to 25 real quick, going through uptown Charlotte.
Well, let's do it again. Let's make it happen, and we can talk some college ball once the season starts as well.
Oh yeah,
you already know what time it is.
Yeah. All right.
Ducks are unstoppable right now.
So for Brian Jones, everybody looks unstoppable April right now.
Time to go.
I'm a Carolina guy, so I ain't even got
to wear out my welcome.
Bill Belichick's my head coach. Like, I ain't even got a leg to stand on right here. Like, I'm a Carolina guy.
No, you don't.
So I got to let y'all guys talk.
Yeah.
So for Brian Jones,
appreciate you guys.
Jonathan Stewart. This is Desmond Johnson. You've been watching and listening to Believe in Panthers podcast here on Believe Networks, brought to you by FanDuel.